All right, hello everybody. KVU Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with an update on our forecast. Obviously, it has been tremendously windy through today. We had widespread wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, and we had many areas over parts of the Austin Metro into the northern hill country with wind gusts of 50 to even 60 miles per hour. This brought us critical to extreme fire danger today. We had a number of, I don't want to say small, but not major wildfires that developed. Generally, they were about 100 acres or less. We'll go through those and we'll kind of update you on where exactly they are all at right now. But as I record this, or as we do this live, we do not have any wildfires that are out of control right now. They're not all 100% contained, but none of them are rapidly growing, which is excellent news. This strong west wind, it also brought in all of this West Texas dust earlier today. So you probably noticed the hazy sky. We had some isolated power outages. We had all sorts of stuff. So let's get into this forecast. I'm happy to say, though, we want to be clear about this. The wind, it is in the process of diminishing. And as that happens, our fire threat continues to go down. With that being said, not completely out of the woods. So let me show you this. We have a red flag warning. This is essentially a fire weather warning, which continues for another hour and a half or so. This will expire at 9 p.m. The worst of the wind, the worst of the fire weather conditions are over, but still it's breezy, still humidity is pretty low, so let's just continue to be on guard, be mindful, no outdoor burning. I don't think anybody's doing that at this point anyways, but just continue to be mindful for another couple of hours, and then conditions really will ramp up overnight. The winds keep going down, and humidity, as always happens at night, humidity is going to go up, and that will help too. And it will also help crews who are fighting some of these ongoing fires. All right, this is a live view from our tower cam. You can still kind of see it. It improved a little bit as we got right into sundown at about 6:30, but there was a period right around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon where visibilities across the metro were like under 2 miles in many spots as a result of this West Texas dust. Here's the wind that transported that dust here into central Texas. Burnett gusted to 59 miles per hour today. So did Windy Point Park, that's out in northwest Travis County at around Lake Travis. Remember, the designation for a severe thunderstorm warning is 58 miles per hour. So we had like severe thunderstorm warning type winds in the middle of the afternoon on a sunny, warm day. Pretty crazy. Not something we see too often here in central Texas. Austin, in town, gusted to 52. San Marcos gusted to 51. Llano also gusted to 51 miles per hour. Here's the wind right now. Much lower. Again, I'm not trying to say there's no wind outside. There still is. It's gusting at 25 in Austin, but this continues to go down. It will quickly diminish over the next couple of hours. Georgetown still gusting to 26. Look, Bastrop still gusting to 30. Giddings 24, San Marcos 24, but especially across the hill country, these numbers are vastly improved, especially out around the Llano area, just sustained at about 10 miles an hour right now. Relative humidity down in the high teens to mainly 20s. In terms of the percentage range, these were down in the teens area-wide. We even had some areas to our southwest with relative humidities in the single digits earlier today. Fortunately, that is no longer the case, and this always happens at night. The humidity is going up. So let me update you on two of the main fires that we were tracking today. The Colette fire is one that developed here just on the west side of Johnson City in Blanco County. As of the latest update, it is 126.5 acres, and it's now 50% contained. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not saying all of our fires are 100% contained. They're not, but none of them are explosively growing. And that's good news because we're getting into the part of the evening where conditions improve, and that helps crews fight the fire. So, not saying we're completely out of the woods, but knock on wood, I'd be super happy if we could make it through today without any major, explosively growing wildfires. But again, heads up here, this is on the west side of Johnson City, 50% containment right now. Now we'll take you down to what they are now calling the Onion Creek Fire, which is developed kind of in the Mountain City area of Hays County. They have not listed a containment on this. The size, this has gone up slightly. I believe it was at about 80 acres earlier. Now it's at 100 acres. Again, still these are kind of an ongoing thing that, crews are out there, they're fighting it, but none of these are explosively growing. But those are the two main fires that we are watching right now. There was also another fire over northeast Travis County. That was kind of the first of the bigger fires of the day. Crews have that one completely handled as of right now. So let's go through our future wind gusts. As we get into 9:30, 10 o'clock, winds continue to go down. Excellent news. There's still a little bit of a breeze tonight, but 10 to 20 miles per hour, that's not going to be super problematic. Tomorrow, not as windy, but 10 to 20 miles per hour, that's not going to be super problematic. Tomorrow, not as windy, but 10 to 20 miles per hour, that's not going to be super problematic. Tomorrow, not as windy, but 10 to 20 miles per hour, that's not going to be super problematic. Tomorrow, not as windy, But it's still going to be relatively windy. I think a lot of, 25 to 35 mile per hour gusts, especially the first half of the day. Then maybe those numbers coming down some as we get into the afternoon. So the fire weather concern for tomorrow, it's much, much lower, but still something that, we'll keep an eye on. Then especially as we go to Thursday, the fire weather actually kind of ticks back up a little bit. Now, as I mentioned, the other part of this fire weather equation, the relative humidity, right now, they're increasing teens, 20s. Watch what happens as we go overnight into tomorrow morning. It's not going to be super muggy like what we had this morning ahead of the front with that line of showers and storms coming through, but relative humidity is in the high 30s, low 40s. That's going to be vastly improved relative to what we're dealing with certainly right now, and certainly what we had earlier today. So here's the fire weather forecast from the Texas A&M Forest Service for tomorrow. The blues and the green, that's low to moderate fire danger, much better. A few little pockets of beige, though, so that is where you get into pockets of high fire danger. Actually, let me fix this. So these days are one day off. This is the morning version of this graphic. I don't want to confuse anybody. Give me a second. I will find the updated version of this just because the days have now advanced. So here is the updated version. There we go. So for Wednesday, that makes more sense. For Wednesday, tomorrow, a lot of low to moderate fire danger, some isolated pockets of high. Thursday's a day we'll need to keep a close eye on, especially across the hill country. It's not extreme like what we had today, but especially as you go west of I-35, high to even very high fire danger. And then as we go into Friday, mainly we're in the moderate, but there will be some pockets of high fire danger. So again, not completely out of the woods, but things are definitely improving for us. But we'll keep an eye on Thursday. Hopefully not like a red flag warning situation type of deal, but again, we'll keep an eye on it. All right, so here's our forecast for tonight. Remember, it's a little cold front that came through earlier today. We obviously weren't cold today, but we'll be a little on the cool side heading out the door late tonight into tomorrow morning. Mainly in the 40s, about 49 in Austin, but there will be some low 40s, not a freeze, but pretty chilly. Heading out the door across the hill country. Here's a closer look at the Metro and I-35 corridor. A lot of mid to upper 40s, some of the cooler numbers out over Williamson County, Round Rock down to 47, Leander also down to about 47. Here's the hourly for Wednesday. It's going to be all sunshine, and now that clear air is moving back in after that West Texas dust came in today. Again, pretty crazy. We actually at one point had a blowing dust advisory from Mason County with visibility down to a mile or less. But either way, a lot more, clear blue sky tomorrow. Sunshine, high temperatures that will be in the low to mid 70s. Here's my forecast across the entire area. Officially, we'll say 73 for Austin. That's about 3 degrees above the average for this time of the year. Mainly in the low 70s across the hill country. Low to mid 70s as you go east of I-35. Again, not as windy, but the breeze is going to kick up from time to time. If we hadn't just had the type of winds we had today, I probably would be emphasizing how windy it will be tomorrow. But given what we had today, it's going to be a far cry from that. Now, here's the 7-day forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, mornings are in the 40s. Thursday morning especially, even a little chillier down at 45 in Austin, maybe some upper 30s in the hill country. Fire threat lower, but especially on Thursday, it's still around. We'll keep an update on that. Friday, the start of South by Southwest, 84. We actually surge up ahead of our next cold front. That one also looks mainly dry, but not necessarily completely dry. That's coming in late Friday into early Saturday. As of now, just a 30% chance for scattered showers and storms with that, especially the first half of the day on Saturday. Then as we go to Sunday, that's actually looking pretty cool. 40s in the morning, 65 for the afternoon high. Monday, 75. Then Tuesday of next week will pretty quickly rebound back into the low 80s. Again, kind of the takeaway, if anybody is just now joining our stream, conditions quickly are improving. We're not completely out of the woods. Still, there's a red flag warning in effect until 9 p.m., but the worst of the wind is over. Humidity values are starting to go up. Winds quickly going down. So we've got a couple fires. Crews are out there. We're appreciative for all the crews fighting them, but the conditions should be more on their side as we go over the next couple of hours, which is fantastic news. What I want to do, though, I want to show you some of the reporting that we did earlier today from both Blanco County and from the storm that developed on the northeast side of Travis County. We'll start with that Travis County fire. You'll just see how windy and hazy it was earlier today. But again, this fire is now under control. I'll check in with you after this, and then we'll do an update on the Clet fire as well. So this is an update from Kelsey Sanchez earlier today. So not current, but this was the deal earlier today with the northeast Travis fire.
Yeah, Now, this fire did start just before 2:30 this afternoon, right by the Austin landfill on Blue Goose Road. Now, firefighters here told me that it burned about 10 acres and crews had to battle it on both sides of the road. Now, we're close to some of the homes here, but luckily firefighters say that they stopped it from getting too close.
With any fire that gets into a dry grassy area that goes, it's hard to get a handle on, hard enough to get a handle on, but especially when you add in the erratic winds that we have today. Not only are the winds strong, but they are rapidly changing directions. So when firefighters start fighting fire from one area and going toward one way, the wind can shift and they may have to reevaluate and reposition and go to a completely different place and start all over again.
Now, on Monday, a Travis County judge did declare a local disaster declaration ahead of the fire conditions today. So again, just be mindful. Don't throw cigarettes outside of your car. Don't drag chains. Just be very mindful of outside activity, because fire officials do say that it's 9 out of 10 that are caused by people for these fires. So again, very windy conditions, but we're keeping track of everything as it develops. Brian and Ashley.
Kelsey, thank you.
All right, so that was an update again from earlier today. They were calling that the Blue Goose Fire. I'm just checking in real quick with the updated numbers on that. Last update, they said resources are now looking for and mopping up hotspots per radio traffic. Blue Goose Road, which was for a time closed, has reopened. It was an ongoing situation for a while, but it looks like they've got that one largely under control. Now, after that, we had a couple fires in Hayes County, and then kind of the biggest one at this point that went up was the fire that developed over Blanco County. So next up, we will go to Blanco County. Again, this is some reporting from a couple hours ago of the Clet fire. Here's an update on that.
As we mentioned minutes ago, an 82-acre fire is burning in Blanco County. This is just west of Johnson City. That's, of course, west of the city of Austin as well. KVU's Isabella Basco is there for us live. Isabella, there was an evacuation order there earlier today. What are you hearing now?
Well, Brian, the fire chief here in Blanco County, just telling me that as of now there is no evacuations, but I would liken this wind almost to a tropical storm, except without the rain and the humidity. And even the fire chief just telling me minutes ago that this weather event right here is unprecedented. Now, I'm going to give you some more information. Here's what we know so far. This fire, as you mentioned earlier, is 82 acres, but it's not growing or advanced in size. Still, it is not contained. Right now, what we know is there are 31 units, 100 personnel, and a bulldozer on scene. And as of now, he just told me there are no evacuations and no injuries, but the chief says that the visibility was less than a mile when the first responders got here due to all that smoke, dust, and wind gusts that are making their jobs difficult.
Fire weather right now is extreme. This is kind of unprecedented conditions, so people need to be very cognizant. Obviously no controlled burning, but just making sure that they're doing everything to reduce their wildfire risk.
And right now, agencies from Burnett, Gillespie, and Blanco are here, with the chief also mentioning that they will probably be here overnight. And we'll keep you posted on what happens next year. But for now, live here in Blanco County tonight, Isabella Basco for KVU News.
All right, so those were kind of the live updates that we had earlier this afternoon. Again, crews are fighting the Clet fire, which you just heard about. They are still out there with the Hayes County fire as well, so it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but none of the fires here across our Central Texas area are rapidly growing right now, which is, again, fantastic news. Latest update on the Clet fire, 126.5 acres, 50% contained. About 3 hours ago, we got some initial information from the Blanco County Sheriff's Office that the fire progression had been stopped. Crews remain on the scene, still fighting it, but it's not, actively progressing into any areas where it's not currently at. So that is fantastic news. All right, with that, we'll do final quick update, then I will let you go. And of course, we'll have our full newscast coming up tonight at 10 o'clock here on KVU. Red flag warning continues until 9 o'clock. The worst of the wind, the worst of the dry air, the worst of the dust, all of that. It's behind us, but still, let's just be vigilant here over the next couple of hours, or I guess over the next hour or so, until that red flag warning expires. Current wind situation outside, much better than what we had earlier today. Still, it's breezy, but it's just a 25-mile-per-hour gust. Right now in Austin, Georgetown's gusting to 26, Burnett is gusting to 30. Relative humidities were in the single digits and teens earlier. Now they're mainly in the 20% range and rising. That will continue to take place through tonight. Here's the latest data for our wind speeds. You can see they continue to go down. We'll be in much better shape overnight, but then through the day tomorrow, especially the first half of the day, still it's windy, some 25 to 35 mile per hour gust, and then probably more along the lines of 20 to 25 as we get into the second part of the day. But that is just not going to present the same type of extreme fire threat that we had earlier today. Here's the relative humidity map. Again, this will increase. This is generally always the case overnight. Temperatures drop, humidity increases. So relative humidity values will be in the 30 to 40% type range as we get overnight into tomorrow morning. Again, conditions for the crews who are fighting a couple of those fires across our area improving. Here's the general game plan for tomorrow. Mainly it's low to moderate fire danger, but a few pockets of high fire danger. Thursday is kind of the next day that we'll keep a closer eye on. It's not going to be a repeat of the conditions we had today, far from it, but some pockets of high to very high fire danger, especially Wilco, parts of Caldwell, Hayes County, then back west into the hill country, mainly watching like Llano, Mason, Gillespie County, parts of Blanco County. Then Friday, mainly it is moderate fire danger, but a few pockets of high fire danger as well. All right, so that is the update that we have for you. We appreciate everybody tuning in with us on KVUE Plus and YouTube Live and all of our streaming platforms for our fire coverage this evening. Next update from us is going to be in about 2 hours, KVUE News at 10 o'clock. Again, just continue to be mindful for the next hour or so, but conditions are improving. Y'all have a good night, stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.